What's going on YouTube? My name is Marcus, aka Apostle, and today I am bringing you another Spellbreak guide. This time we're going to be talking about Shadowstep, the rune that is new to some of you, but it was just brought back into the game. This time we're going to be playing the Toxic class because that's where Shadowstep really shines. Outbreak is the reason. If you don't know, the third ability of Toxic is Outbreak, which increases your toxic damage by 75% while invisible, and Shadowstep makes you invisible, so it definitely helps. I'm gonna try to get across so I can show you guys what Shadowstep actually looks like over here. We're in the game now. Well, it looks like the game's gonna start, so I'm not gonna be able to show you guys what it looks like in the practice lobby because Spellbreak's like, nah dude, this isn't it. This is not the one. We'll land Halcyon. Try to get it hot. See if we can find a Shadowstep rune. I keep wanting to call it a Shadowstep gauntlet. It's not a gauntlet. It's a rune. But for you guys who don't know, it dashes you forward or sideways or backwards, whatever direction you're moving. Also combined with where you're looking. So if you're like looking down and you Shadowstep backwards, it'll Shadowstep you up into the air. Or if you're looking up, it'll Shadowstep you up into the air. If you're moving forwards, that is. So we'll try to get one. Hopefully we can find one out of the gate. That would be nice, but knowing my luck, this is going to be an entire game with no Shadowstep runes. So let's see. A Frost Gauntlet. It's actually pretty good with Frost as well on the Frost class, because Frost has its like floatiness. This guy just wants to kill me, and all I want is Shadowstep. That's so much to ask for. Okay. This is a really bad idea, looting these, because he's just gonna shoot me in the face. But we gotta find Shadowstep. But yeah, so the Frost class with the floating ability, I think it's called Icicle. Here we go, Shadowstep out of the gate. So what you can do is you can Shadowstep into the air. You'll be invisible for enough time to charge up your Frost shot and lose them. So you'll be able to Shadowstep up like this and then charge up a shot, but you'll stay in the air instead of falling. So it's really good with that on Frost. On Toxic, it's all about the Outbreak. Oh no, I'm bad. So what you want to do, I'm going to try to use it on this guy, is you want to have the right distance. Because with Shadowstep, it's all about managing distance. So you want to Shadowstep forward, not be too far from them. I completely lost him. So this is starting off good. Where did he go? I can hear him. He's right here. You want to get as close to the person as you can as Toxic while Shadowstepping, because no matter what you do, Shadowstep is going to move you. Whereas with Dash, you can dash in a circle. So if you're right on top of somebody, you'll be able to dash and then end up like right here, or like even back where you started. But with Shadowstep, if you try to do that, you're going to press it and you're going to always go forward. So if you're right on top of somebody, you're going to actually Shadowstep away. So kind of your goal with it is to Shadowstep in or use your Vanishing Mists like this to get in, hit the person, back up, Shadowstep again right in their face, and then hit them again, and then back up. So that's kind of the difference between Shadowstep and Dash, is Shadowstep requires a little bit more distance management, actually a lot more, because you don't have control mid Shadowstep. You can still do it like sideways, but it'll still create distance between you and the enemy if you're right on top of them. So you need to create distance before you use it. Also, Shadowstep doesn't carry momentum. I can show you with Dash. We actually have Dash up here. So with Shadowstep, if you watch, I go and then I stop right at the end of it. Whereas if I use Dash, give me a second, give me a second, give me a second. You can like carry your momentum to jump. Shadowstep's not gonna let you do that. It's just gonna stop you and then you're gonna jump away. So basically, we're gonna try to find a fight now where we're actually using Shadowstep. If we can find anybody. I think everybody was on the eastern side of the map, but I'm not positive because I screwed up this video like 3 times trying to get it started. So I have no idea where anybody's at. Shadowstep's got a longer cooldown than Dash as well, which separates it. It makes it a little bit more difficult to use, because if you Shadowstep, right, you got 2.5, or I think it's 2.5 seconds of invis. Maybe it's 1.5, and then you have like a 6-second cooldown, where Dash doesn't have that invis time before it starts the cooldown meter, and it also has a shorter cooldown in general. Okay, let's see if we can find somebody. Shadowstep isn't as good of a dash or as a distance closer as dash is. You can still use it to close distance, but since it doesn't carry that momentum and you can't control it in the middle, it's a little bit harder. So you have to kind of, if you're running straight at somebody, you kind of want to Shadowstep off to the side. You don't ever want to go straight at somebody, because if they shoot where you were at before you Shadowstepped and you just Shadowstep forwards, that shot is still going to hit you. So you kind of want to step off the middle line. If you guys are like fighters, it's the same thing as when you're like approaching to try to punch somebody. You don't want to go straight at somebody because you're going to walk right into the punch. So see, I want to manage the distance, hit them if I can. I can't because I'm bad. If they're in the air, you can Shadowstep up into the air, land back on them, kill them. Pretty simple. This is going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm going to let him push me. I don't want to use my runes to do this. I want to use it for the increased damage, even though I don't have it. I'm pretending like I have it. But basically, you really have to use Shadowstep at the right distance. That is the main thing that you want to do, is be worried about your distance. It's such a huge thing in Spellbreak as a whole. No matter what you're doing, you don't want to be using Toxic from super far away. You don't want to be using Ice from super close. It's all about managing your distance, and Shadowstep's really not any different. It's just another layer of it. There's not a whole lot of people around here. I guess we can pop this mana vault. Hopefully bring some people in and get some more fights under our belts. We do have Outbreak now, so I can hit really hard. I'm going to kind of bait this guy towards me. I'll let him use his Feather Fall. Let him use what he needs to use, and then fall down, and then I can close the distance. My shot's so off right now. Okay, this guy is running stone and hits those. So I'm going to do is just circle around. Let him do his thing. He's going to try to boulder me again. I wasted that Shadowstep. That was a really bad use of it. And I just got to keep being careful. I'm going to use my Vanishing Mists as much as I can. And then you can really lose people. As you can see, when I Shadowstep, that guy didn't know where I was for basically the entire time I was invis. I'm going to keep using my Vanishing Mist over my Shadowstep because the cloud stays there and you can use it multiple times. Come back. If I could hit a shot, that would be pretty awesome, but I'm trash, so probably not. And I'm really trying to just rely on my Toxic Gauntlet to show you guys how you want to use Shadowstep mixed with Toxic, because that's where it really shines and where you're really going to have success with it as you play Spellbreak. You can also use it to create distance, like I was saying with the Frost Gauntlet. You can Shadowstep backwards. You can Shadowstep any direction. So if I really wanted to, I could be running this way at somebody and then dash backwards. And then they'll think that I went forwards or some other side. And I didn't. Right? So one of my favorite things is actually to be pushing somebody and then to dash backwards. If this guy will pay attention to me. He's not going to. I don't think he realized it. So I'll be pushing somebody like this, right? And I'll dash backwards. If he didn't catch me on fire, I would have still been invisible. And then he would have thought that I dashed to the side of him, when in reality, or Shadowstepped. In reality, I went backwards, right? So I've got 2 charges of Shadowstep. Kind of use this. Gonna use my Vanishing Mist to cover a little bit more distance. Because Vanishing Mist does actually keep momentum. So if you're trying to cover distance and you're playing Toxic, use your Vanishing Mists to cover the distance. And then your Shadowstep more for damage. But as you can see with Shadowstep, you see this little like poof that I make right there? When I do it, that's how you know where people are. And you can kind of see that I make this like this animation. Watch when I go sideways. So you can tell where people go in that split second of their animation because they lean a little bit. So you know right there I went to the right. And then if I go the other way, you know I went to the left. But this cloud will actually cover for you while you're invisible if you dash backwards or Shadowstep backwards. So people won't know where you're at because your actual Shadowstep animation will cover for you. There's only a few people left. We got 6 of them, so not too bad of a game. And we did actually get Shadowstep out of the gate, so that's pretty good. But yeah, you can really use Shadowstep on Toxic is where it really shines. I like to use it on Frost because I can run at people on my Frost trail and then Shadowstep up in the air and hover like this above them. And it's really hard for them to figure out where I am, which means that they basically have to just dodge no matter what and use a rune charge if they want to get out of the way. Because they don't know where I'm at, so they don't really know what to do to dodge, right? If you can't see me, you don't know where the shot's coming from, so they just have to dodge in hopes that I miss and hope they get their timing right. So with Frost, it really works well. It works well also with Conduit because you can get 3 stacks of it, which will allow you to cover the distance a little bit better. And you'll also be able to just stay up. Or have it up a lot more often. Stay invisible. Let's see, this guy's gonna freeze me. I'm gonna pop that as well. He's gonna snipe me. I'm gonna run this way. And I'm gonna hit him with one of these jukes. He thinks I went forwards. I went backwards. Oh no, it unfroze. Not like this. Not like this, chat. I'm gonna get chased down hard. I gotta pop this sorcery to make sure that he doesn't lightning me in the back. The timing on that melting was terrible. So I'm in a really bad spot right now. My Shadowstep's down. You don't want this to happen. Gonna block that. And kind of just try to stay away from this guy until I can get these pots off. I'm gonna be shocked here coming up. I actually don't know how I didn't get shocked there. He hit my toxic bubble, which should have shocked me. I'm gonna break this guy's fortitude. Shadowstep. Get a couple quick little slaps off. You can pop him so quick with the extra 75% damage. That guy had shields that I should probably grab. Recording these is actually really hard because I'm trying to play slower so that way I can break it down for you, whereas if I'm just running and like doing what I normally do, I can play a lot faster because I'm not showing examples, right? This guy's teaming? No. Guy up there. That guy I'm actually a little bit worried about. I didn't get the tox. Did I get the armor pot? I don't know if I did back there. So I'm going to kind of rotate towards this guy and make them fight each other. I'm worried about this guy. I know he hits his frost shots. They also both have lightning, so me being at this range is not great. I definitely don't want to be in the open against them. So I'm just going to do what I can to make sure I keep my cover. This guy really wants to keep his range because he's playing frost and lightning, but I'm going to use my toxic clouds. Oh, okay, it didn't work. Oh, he's so immune. Okay. Got another guy up the hill. The toxic clouds really helped me cover the distance there and circle around them and get myself into a better position. And I'm going to be a little bit of a bush. This zone's going to hurt. I don't think there's any shields left, so I'm not in the best spot. I'm against a stone shaper and a lightning user in an open area, which is not where I want to be at all. As a toxicologist, it's going to be hard to cover this distance. I'm actually going to try to take the high ground because it's going to be really hard to take the high ground back if they get up here. And I'm going to use my ice to hopefully chip away at them if I can hit any shots. This guy just levitating, can't hit any ice shots. There we go. He's probably going to try to push for the high ground. He had stone again. So I'm going to try to stay above him. And then use my shadow step. Right there was a perfect example of shadow stepping that perfect distance to stay right on top of them. That's something you really want to get good at. But yeah, I mean, your takeaways, you really just want to manage your distance. You want to get used to how far you're going to travel using shadow step. You can also shadow step into like a wall or a tree in front of you, something that'll block you, and it'll shadow step and turn you invisible, and you'll stay still instead of actually moving. So that way, if somebody's pushing you, you can shadow step. They'll think you moved, but you really stayed in the same spot, and then you can slap them without having to manage your distance as hard. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out the Twitch stream down in the description below. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting me, you can use my creator code APOSTLEOG in the top right corner. It only works on the Epic Games Store on PC. You just click Add Gold. Once you pick which gold you want, it's going to be over here on the right hand side. It's going to say add a creator code or promo code or something, and you just enter Apostle OG in there. If you don't use mine, use somebody else's. It's free money to your favorite creator. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something, and don't forget to check out the Twitch stream. See you guys next time. Bye. Cool. Cool. Did that help you guys? Did that, like, for those of you who haven't played Spellbreak with Shadowstep, did you guys at least learn a little bit? Cool, cool, cool. I mean, that's a goal. As long as I can get the learning across.